Cold calling, the Socratic method, the bane of every law student's existence. The most important thing for you to know about cold calling is, hang on, we'll get there in a minute. But first, hello, my name is Nicole and I'm a 2L at Washington University Law School. I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel and make sure that you get all of the answers to the questions that I wish I had been asking when I was preparing to go to law school. Speaking of which, really quickly, next week I am doing an Ask Me Anything video in honor of my channel's 2nd birthday, and I would love it if you guys would submit questions for that. A lot of you have been doing a great job sending me a boatload of questions on Instagram, and if you want to join in on the fun and ask me about law school admissions, my life outside of law school, or law school itself, you can follow me at LAA Law Student over on Instagram, DM me there, or respond to my story, or you can leave your questions in the comments below. Today we are talking about that nightmare that plays on most Americans' fear of public speaking. That fear is really something you should try to get over, by the way, if you want to be a lawyer. Obviously, not every lawyer has to speak in court on a regular basis, but chances are pretty good that at some point you're going to have to publicly convince another person that your interpretation of the case is the right one. Cold calling is really great practice for that for a couple reasons. First, there's no pressure. Absolutely no stake in the game if you get the answer right or wrong, or as is more common in law, somewhere in between. It probably won't feel this way, but trust me, none of the other students in the class care what you say. They're just relieved that they weren't the one who was called on. And any important substance in your answer is going to be repeated by the professor or corrected by the professor, who also doesn't really care what you say. They just care that their time isn't being wasted. Give as good of an answer as you can based on the reading that you did for that day, and move on with your life. Not only is the professor and everyone else going to completely forget what you said by the end of class, but even if they remember it, it has no long-term effects on your grading, your job prospects, or anything else that really matters. You are truly the only person who's going to notice or care if you have a bad cold call. All that being said, you will still feel the pressure, and that is great motivation to actually do the homework, which admittedly is not the end of the world if you don't do all of the homework either, but it does play a significant role in how well you understand the class, and how well you understand the class will have a direct impact on your grade, which will have a direct impact on your job prospects. So if the goal in going to law school is to learn or to get a job, you need to do most of the reading. And having that pressure of potentially being called on in class to not only recite the facts of the cases that you were supposed to have read for that day, but also to analyze those facts and the court's reasoning, comparing it to cases that you've read in the past, that is an important skill that you should have. It's true that some professors will take participation into consideration, but that's really just, can you show that you read the case? Can you show that you read a summary of the case? Do you have any idea what we're talking about? As long as you say something mostly relevant, it doesn't really matter how accurate your answer is. Participation for many professors, especially the younger ones who understand that not everyone loves or intends to do public speaking, can include things like emails or going to office hours too. So when you're in law school, check with your specific professors that do include participation as part of the grade. It's usually only like 10% unless you're in like a seminar class. Just check with them and see what they would prefer and how they can work around whatever fears you may have of speaking in public. I definitely think it's true that the smaller the class size, the more you're going to be expected to speak, but don't think of it as having to speak publicly more often. Think of it as just having a conversation with your peers. It's not a presentation. Again, it doesn't matter if you're right. Just say something relevant that the conversation can jump off of. The point of this video is just to say, don't worry about cold calling. It's not that big of a deal, and it does serve some purpose in making sure that you and your classmates are engaged and on the right track as you do a lot of self-learning in law school. You read a lot of the cases and you just go to class to make sure that you read them correctly. Hopefully you found this reassuring, but if not, please make sure that you let me know and ask any questions that you have about cold calling or anything else in the comments below. Please like this video and subscribe if you want to see more like it about specific law school topics. And I will see you guys next week with the AMA for my channel's 2nd birthday. I will see you guys next weekend with the AMA video. I'm so excited to put that out. I love doing videos where you guys are active participants, and I love celebrating the fact that we've been on this journey together for 2 years now. So keep a lookout for that, and until then, God bless.